Hey guys, welcome back to the Knitting Expat Podcast channel. My name is Mina and this is episode 169. I actually went ahead and checked to make sure I had the right number. Anyway, I'm kind of doing this one a little bit more vlog style. It's going to be a little bit patchy. I'm just going to film little bits here and there and piece this together as a vlog style episode. Like podcast episode, so hopefully you guys will enjoy this. We've just gotten back from a trip to the Cotswolds here in the UK. It's half term at the moment for Layla, so she's got some time off school, and so we decided fairly last minute that we were just going to go away for a few days as a family. So we had a great time. I was going to vlog it initially, but then I realized we're only there for a couple of days, and one of the days we were spending with one of Perry's work colleagues and his family, and I was like, nah, I'm just gonna enjoy the time with family. And yeah, so the area we stayed in was really lovely, and there were signs everywhere for like cows, like watch out for cows. And we drove through this common, like this big like grassy areas. They're not like farmers' fields, but it's like here in the UK we have this thing, like you have a common, which is like a patch of grass that's just like open for anyone to like use, like a park, but it's not enclosed in any way. Anyway, and so this common is used as a golf course in some parts, and there's just these cows, just herds of cows just roaming around freely. I guess the farmers just let them out and they just roam. Anyway, we woke up one morning and we went outside and there were cows just wandering past our car, wandering past a cottage we were in, just wandering down the road, just as you do. And the girls absolutely loved it. Nova was obsessed with the cows on this trip. She just kept asking for more cows. And she'd be like, "My see cows, my see cows." She doesn't say "I see cows" or like "I want to see cows." She goes "my" instead of "I." So like, "My see cows," and then she'd see the cows and she'd just stand there mooing at them. It was just hilarious. Yeah, so we had a great time. And we'd been once before to like the similar part of the Cotswolds 2 years ago, almost exactly 2 years ago. Same sort of half-term, autumn half-term break. And Nova was only 4 months old back then. She was super tiny, and I did vlog that one. But yeah, we had such a good time. We're already planning on going back again, probably in the Easter time or something, I'm not sure. But yeah, we absolutely loved it. We didn't get the best sleep, but even so, like, I will be honest, we had the best time. The girls loved it, we loved it, definitely going back. Anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. Nova's such a little character now, honestly. It's just, she's so funny. But yeah, so that's sort of like a little bit of what we've been doing lately. I don't know if I mentioned we'd had a car accident back in September. I'm pretty sure I did on the last podcast, but anyway, we finally got our car back like 2 days before we were going on our trip, and we were so relieved because it's a much more comfortable drive in that car compared to the backup car we have. Anyway, I'm gonna chat a little bit about a couple of finished objects, or I guess kind of like a stack of finished objects, but they're all kind of the same thing. And then some yarn that I got recently, some from the Cotswolds and some from around the corner. And then I will, and that's probably all I'll film today. And then I have some other things I'm going to be filming, and I'll probably put it all together in this video. But yeah, so I'm going to show you that in just a second. So hopefully this works. Apologies for crazy background, but I'm sure you're probably used to that by now. I still need to sort out my yarn and stuff. Like, it's coming, the videos are coming, the organizational videos will be happening at some point soon. But right, so my main finished object for now are some dishcloths. So I have this stack of fun dishcloths that I've crocheted out of some 100% cotton yarn. I can't remember the name of the stitch that this is made out of. I am sorry, I cannot remember. I think it's called the sedge stitch, I think, in crochet. So yeah, I've got a stack. These have just been blocked and I've neatly folded them, so I don't really want to open them up again. But I have this yellow, orange, this multicolored one, pink and blue. And so all these 4 colours all appear in this multicolored one. So that's kind of like one set. These are going to be Christmas gifts. And then I do have a second set that I've done, but in a different stitch pattern. This one I haven't woven in the ends or blocked them yet, but it's kind of this alternating double stitch and then a double stitch two together, I think, stitch, and alternating between front and back loop. I can't remember now. I did all this before we went away, so I can't remember exactly, but same colours. So I've got the multicolored one, this light blue, this yellow, orange and bright pink. So yeah, so that'll be another set to go together. And then I do have a fair bit left over. Sorry, let me just grab the leftovers. So oh, and I also picked up a red one, but because the red doesn't appear in the multicolored one, I haven't used this one yet, but I will. So I have a bunch left over, probably enough to do at least a couple if I combine colours. But the other day I popped to, well, I say the other day, yesterday I popped to the shops with Nova, and so the shop I got this yarn from is actually called The Range here in the UK. It's kind of like a bit of everything kind of shop, and they have these on offer at the moment, 3 for the price of 2, so I picked up another 3. So they had these 2 multicolored ones, the pink and a orange to pinky sort of sunsetty colours, and then I picked up another yellow as well to round out the 3. They didn't have any more of the pink and orange, or else I probably would have got some of that as well to kind of go with it, but I'm thinking the pink and orange I might use as like a border to go around them so it will last longer. Sorry, and I still have plenty of the others, and I also have the red as well, which I can probably put with the sunset one, probably goes quite nicely as a set, and even with the pink one probably. I don't know. They didn't have any white or cream like plain ones, because I would have got some of that to go with it as well, but that's more dishcloths being planned for Christmas presents this year. And then I might as well show you what else I got yesterday. So I had a voucher for Hobbycraft. They sign up for their membership thing every year for your birthday, they send you a voucher. So I hadn't used my voucher yet and it was about to expire, so couldn't let that happen. So I popped to Hobbycraft with Nova, and Nova's so funny. Honestly, she's absolutely hilarious. We went there first and got the shopping bag, and then she decided that she was going to carry it. Bear in mind, when she carries this, it kind of like drags across the floor. But she insisted that she was going to carry it. She was like, my bag, my carry bag. I'm like, okay. And then we walk around the range, and I've picked up these yarns, and then she insists that she has to carry them as well as the shopping bag. And so she was kept walking around, and in her little mind, because obviously this is logic, she just puts the yarn in the bag. And I'm like, no, we haven't paid for it yet. Like, we have to pay for it first. And so I took them off her. And then she just kept going around and just picking stuff off the shelves and putting them in the bag. I would like just follow around behind her, be like, no, we're putting this back. No, we're not buying this. Put that back. Yeah. And but then we went to the supermarket, and the supermarket that we go to, they do the little trolleys for the little kids. And she's pushing the trolley around, and she's just like grabbing stuff off the shelves left, right and centre. And again, I'm following around being like, no, put that back. We're not buying this today. We do not need condensed milk. And then sometimes she'll grab something, I'm like, yeah, okay, fine, we'll get grapes today, or we'll get this, whatever. So I think she kind of thinks going around the shops is like going around the supermarket, where she could just grab whatever and put it in the trolley, but she puts it in the shopping bag. So yeah, we're working on her wanton attempts at thievery. But from Hobbycraft, as I was saying, they had, I haven't seen this before there, but they had receipts. They had this sock yarn called the Perfect Pair. Now, I don't know if this is like the Regia Perfect Pair, where you kind of have, we start at the same point, and it's kind of got like a starter yarn to get you to start at the same point so you get identical socks. But either way, self-striping yarn, so not going to complain. I think they were £8 each, so not too bad, sort of on par with like a Regia or a West Yorkshire Spinners. So I got the bright stripe and the rust stripe colours. So again, just sturdy 75-25 wool nylon sock yarn. Great for gift knitting, because I find this kind of blend, 75-25, is a really good blend for sock yarn you want to gift to people, because it's typically washable, and this one is machine washable, and they're really quite hardy. The other yarn I got was some of this. This is the Women's Institute Homegrown DK, 100 grams. It's 100% wool, and also it's exclusive to Hobbycraft. They have a whole range of Women's Institute yarns. It just says 100% British wool. It's DK weight, and again, it's machine washable. I think it is. I've got 2 in the mustard, 1 in the grey, and these were reduced down to £4 a ball, so I couldn't turn that down. These are normally like £7 each or something, so good price on those. So I got those. Not zero plans for these, but at the price I couldn't turn it down, and they're it is good quality yarn. It's a bit more rustic feeling. It feels a lot like a Regia sock yarn type feel, so it's not super soft, but it's not super itchy either. That's what I got yesterday. And the reason I'm trying to film this now is so that I can get on with sorting out the yarn that I need to sort out. Then whilst we were away, we went to a little village called Bourton on the Water. I believe that's what it's called, Bourton on the Water. And there's a little yarn shop there called the Bourton Yarn Basket. So I popped in and I picked up 3 skeins of sock yarn. And I hadn't seen these before. 2 by James C. Brett in the Funny Feet range. It's got bamboo in it as well, so it feels a little bit softer. 50% superwash wool, 25% polyamide, and 25% bamboo. And these shades don't seem to have names, they just have numbers. So I got this one, which is shade FZB20. It's just fun dark purples and blues and greens. And this one, which is FZB21. So that's what they had for that. And I picked up a ball of the King Cole Zigzag 4-ply for socks. And this is 75-25 superwash wool nylon. Colour for this one is bubblegum. So yeah, again, another self-strapping. Again, as you can tell, I'm gearing up for some serious gift knitting this Christmas. I don't know, whatever I don't get done for Christmas will then go on to be for birthdays and other things in the future. And the other yarn that I picked up from this yarn shop, again, it's nothing super special. They did have some Cotswolds specific yarn, like from sheep from the Cotswolds area, which I did look at getting, but it was very rustic yarn, probably more than I would have wanted at this particular time, and it was just in like a natural dark charcoaly grey colour, which is beautiful, absolutely beautiful, but I couldn't think what I would do with it. And they came in 50-gram balls. They were quite expensive, which I don't mind for good quality yarn, and this was definitely good quality yarn from what I could see. But without a project in mind and not knowing what I was going to do with it, I didn't want to just pick up one skein and not know what to do with it, or pick up like, and I didn't want to spend the money buying like a sweater quantity not knowing what I was going to do with it either. So I left it for now, knowing we will be going back to the Cotswolds at some point in the future, and I can always go back there and get some more if I want to. But the other yarn I got was also by James C. Brett. I didn't realise that until just now, and it's their DK in the colour SH01. I actually got 3 balls of this, and it's technically a DK weight, but it's a very fine DK. It's probably a DK ball because it has a bit of a halo to it. So there's 550 meters to 100 grams. This is definitely more of a light fingering weight in terms of yardage, but it's DK weight. So, and it's only £4 a balls, which is very affordable. And I said I got 3, but I only showed you 2 because I've already crocheted up one of them into little circles, which I'm planning to turn into squares by adding an edge to square it off. And so I've actually from Hobbycraft ordered 2 in a cream and 2 in a grey of the same yarn, because I wasn't sure which colour I'd want. I'm leaning more towards the cream than grey, but I just need to see how it looks when I pick it up, and then I'll just return whichever one I don't use or decide not to use. So so yeah, that will be a blanket at some point. So one ball made 30 circles, which will become 30 squares. So I should be able to get about 90 squares, which should be big enough to make a decent blanket. So let me just see, how big are these circles? So the circles are about 5 inches across. So by the time I square it off, it's probably going to be somewhere between 6 and 7 inches, probably about 6.5 inches of a square once they're done. So I think 90 is going to make a sizable blanket, I hope. And yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm really into the crochet blankets at the moment. I can't seem to kick that bug at the moment, and I'm noticing I'm really into crochet blankets in the sense of piecing them, like doing them in small sections and then piecing them together. I find that it makes it a very approachable kind of project, and it makes it a very quick project, at least in the initial stage of creating the little blocks, and I find that very appealing right now. I don't know what it is or why I'm so like into that at this particular point in time, but I am, and I'm just leaning into it. So I now have another crochet blanket in the works, so yay. Okay, I really need to finish some of the other crochet blankets I've been working on, and I do have some other projects that I need to finish up for this Christmas fair that Layla and I are going to be doing in December. So yeah, there's plenty still to be done. I am working on 4 pairs of socks at the moment, which I will show you later. Anyway, that's it for right now, and I will see you in a little bit. Okay, so it has been a couple of weeks since the last clip that I shared with you guys. I am back now. I actually had to go and watch what I had previously recorded to see where I had left off. So I believe the last time I recorded we were towards the end of October, early November time. I can't remember the exact date now, but anyway, we are now at the end of November. Today is the 26th of November, so it's been a while. It's been at least a couple of weeks, maybe even 3 in there, since I last recorded for the podcast. I have now graduated from 4 pairs of socks on the go to 5 because that is life. I had originally cast on so many. 2 of them are designs. 3 they're going to be for gift knit. They're gift knit socks. They're socks that I'm going to be gifting. But the other day I went through all the Christmas presents, because I've been slowly accumulating bits for Christmas for the last couple of months, because I hate that feeling when you hit December and you're like, oh no, I haven't bought all the gifts I need to get. I haven't sorted out all the things I need to sort out. So I like to start accumulate things from like September onwards. And so I went through, so about a week ago I went through everything that I had accumulated, including my bag of stuff that I've knit over the last year that I've set aside to be gifts for like birthdays or Christmas or whatever that comes up that requires a gift. So I was going through everything and like allocating gifts to people as it were, and kind of figuring out, okay, I have these things for this person, I want to add something to this one, or I want to add that. I'm making a list basically, so I have an idea of where the gaps are in my gift pile, as it were. And I realised I actually have enough socks already pre-knit for Christmas this year, so I don't have to worry about gift knitting for socks right now. Apparently I am set. So I am really happy about that, because that's one less thing for me to stress about. I rarely knit socks for myself anymore. Socks that I knit as designs, sometimes I'll just keep them and I don't wear them. I keep them as samples, and you know, in the future, once the pattern's a couple of years old, I might then go on and gift it to somebody. But I don't tend to knit socks for myself at the moment, just because I have so many socks still that I'm wearing. And I don't, also another thing as well is I don't tend to wear my knit socks as much as I used to. Not because I don't love them, I absolutely love them. My house is dangerous for knit socks. We have wood floors, we have wooden stairs, and I have in the past, it would have been about a year ago actually, yeah, pretty much a year, this time last year, November last year, I fell down the stairs. Like I went literally, I was wearing knit socks and my foot slipped out from under me going down the stairs, and I went crashing down several stairs into the cast iron radiator on the landing and had this giant bruise on my bum. So ever since then I've been slightly traumatised, and I don't tend to wear my knit socks at home that much, or ever, really. I mean, I do in the depths of winter, but I have to be, when I do wear them, I am like super careful going up and down the stairs. So I've not been wearing them as much because of that. And I'm not the kind of person, I don't enjoy wearing slippers in the house. I don't know, something about that. So I will get back to wearing them again. At some point we want to put runners on our stairs just to make them safer for the kids and for me more than anyone else, let's be honest, because I have a track record for falling downstairs. So remind me again why it was a good idea to move into a house split over 4 floors. Yeah, anyway. So that being said, I don't wear through my socks as quickly. So most of the socks I knit now are for gifts. That was such a tangent. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to tangent quite so dramatically. So that's why, anyway, so I have 5 pairs of socks, and that's why they're all still on the needles, because I haven't felt the urge or the rush to need to finish them all in time for Christmas. Which has actually been really pleasant and has allowed me to focus on some other things as well. So one big thing that I finished is I finished all the prep and all the making and all the things for the Christmas fair that Layla and I are going to be doing at her school. Or rather, we have a stall at the Christmas fair at her school, and that's not this coming weekend but next weekend, so that'll be really exciting. I have 4 large bags of those, you know, bag for life bags. If you're in the UK, you know what I mean, the large like tote size bags full of stuff. And so yeah, Layla's really excited, I'm excited, and I'm pretty sure a lot of what gets left over is going to become more gifts for Christmas. So so there's a lot of that stuff that's been done. I'm not gonna get all of that out now to show you. I am planning on doing Vlogmas, so you'll see all the stuff when I set up the Christmas craft fair, Christmas fair table at her school. I won't be sharing a lot from that day because we're going to be, well, I'm going to be at the stall the whole time, so we'll see how it goes. And then yeah, I have a few other projects on the go. I don't actually have that much finished to share with you. I think since the last podcast, the large super chunky crochet blanket that I was making that I shared a while ago, I actually finished that the day I filmed that progress video. I finished it later that day or the day after. That's downstairs in the living room. We use it all the time. The kids love it, I love it, Perry loves it. It's great. And so you'll be seeing that probably pop up on Vlogmas and things as well. What else? In terms of finished objects, another video I've been planning. I've been working on a lot of videos this month, and so funnily enough, I've been really trying hard since Layla's gone back to school. I've been trying really hard to post 1 video a week since September. It's not always worked out, but I've been trying really hard to do that. And funnily enough, now I have 1 video where everything's been filmed. I just need to edit it. That one I'm probably going to put off releasing until the new year now, because we're coming up to Vlogmas soon, and I have this video, the podcast, and another review video that I need to publish this week before Vlogmas starts. So I'm probably going to hold off on that other video, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, until the new year. And that video is one that was actually requested by some of you guys. I posted a long time ago now on my Instagram for some ideas of like things you would like to see me cover in a video or do a video about, and something that came up fairly frequently in one iteration or another is like how to craft with your kids, how to include kids with your creative hobbies, and how to do that sort of thing. So I filmed a few examples of things that I've done with my kids, and I do with my kids, to kind of encourage their creativity, include them in my hobbies, and stuff like that. And one of the things I really love doing, and I did it with Layla when she was about Nova's age, and even now as she's older, but I hadn't done with Nova before, was making rolags on my blending board. So I did that with Nova, and I filmed the whole process, and she picked out the colours she wanted to use, and she helped me put them on the blending board and all of that stuff. And then I spun up the yarn using the rolags that she helped me make. So this is the finished yarn, and I think if I have time, what I might do is I might wind it up and knit her a special little Christmas ornament. That'll be for her. I probably have enough to do 2. I could probably do 2, one that I'll keep for myself and one that'll be for her, as a little Christmas ornament for her to have with something that she helped make. Another thing that I've finished, kind of, I guess. It wasn't really a project I planned to do, but I posted a review. So I'm sorry, we're moving on to finished objects now. So more finished objects. I guess I already filmed some of that at the beginning of this video. This feels very weird doing this in 2 parts. It was supposed to be more of a vlog style podcast episode, and it's not been that. Anyway, I posted a review video last week, I believe it was, about a crochet book called A Year of Granny Squares, which you can go back and watch that on my channel. I actually think that was the last video I posted before this one, or maybe one before that, because I also posted a yarn organising video. Anyway, so I was doing, I'm so distracted today, I'm so sorry. So I posted that review video for the crochet book, and I had done 4 of the squares out of the book to like test it out, see how I liked it, see how the instructions were, etc, etc. So I had these 4 squares and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with these. I wasn't really planning on doing a big blanket or anything else. I have enough crochet blankets on the go at the moment, so I wasn't sure what to do with them. And then Layla said something to me a while ago which made me think. She asked if she could have a Christmas tree for her bedroom. Now, we're not the kind of, we've always been like just one tree and that's it kind of family, but I was at the shop the other day with Nova, and I saw they had this small little 3-foot rainbow pre-lit Christmas tree, and I was like, I couldn't help myself. It wasn't expensive at all. I got it, Nova helped me set it up, and the girls absolutely love it. It's actually going to live on the landing outside of our bedrooms, because it's the girls' tree, it's their tree to share. Layla wanted it, and I asked Layla why she wanted a Christmas tree for her room. She said she wanted one so she could put presents under it for her toys, which was like the sweetest thing. So I said to her, like, I got this Christmas tree for the 2 of them and they can share it, and so it's going to go in the hallway rather than in her room, because if it goes in her room then Nova's going to be upset that it's not in her room. So hallway is the democratic option. And so anyway, it just sort of stuck in my head that Layla wanted to like put presents under the tree for her toys, and so I thought I would make some stuff for her toys. And so what I did was I stitched the 4 squares that I made for that review video together into like a little blanket for her toys, and I just put on a border, just did a crochet border. It's a half double crochet in the back loop. Focus, there we go, half double crochet in the back loop, all around. And yeah, so that was really quick. I mean, because the squares had already been done, I just had to seam them together. I did a slip stitch join, and yeah, and then just threw on a border, and that was done really quickly last night. So that's another little gift finished. I'm also planning on doing some little accessories of some of her toys. So Layla has 2 lammies. She has Big Lammy and Little Lammy. Nova also has her own 2 little lammies now. She also has a Big Lammy and a Little Lammy. And I thought what I would do is I would crochet each of their lammies little scarves. And I thought that would be really cute. They could have little little presents under the tree for their toys. I just thought that would be cute. And if I have enough time, I'll do like a little blanket for Nova's toys as well, so they've got like matching things, because of course they have to have matching things. And the other finished object is also a work in progress, because I'm making 2 pairs of these. So my friend Grace posted something on Instagram the other day. Yeah, she's the host of the Babbles Travelling Yarns podcast. I don't know if she's still podcasting at the moment, but she's on Instagram as Babbles Yarns. I think she is. I don't know if her name has changed on Instagram now. It might just be, I can't remember. Anyway, she posted this photo to her stories of someone who had crocheted some mittens that look like ducks, and I was like obsessed, and I was like immediately yes. Not with the crochet, but with the mittens that look like ducks. Nothing against crochet, I just prefer knitting, and I find it easier to do because I understand it better, especially when it comes to like garments and accessories. Crochet for blankets, love it, but anything beyond that is a little bit beyond me, as it were, with crochet. So I didn't have the exact right colours, but I was like, I made little duck mittens for Nova, and I am obsessed. So I've got this like creamy off-white for the main bit, and then this like golden yellow for the duck bill, and then I just sewed on with a bit of black cotton yarn some eyes. So basically when she wears them, she'll be able to go quack, quack, quack. These are too tiny, I cannot get them on my hand, otherwise I would have tried to demonstrate a little bit more. There we go. So she can go quack, quack, quack. And the reason why I love this is because ever since she's like been learned about animal noises and stuff, anytime she wants to do a duck noise, she always goes quack, quack, quack with her hands. It's always like that. When she doesn't just say quack, quack, she has to do the hand motions with it. So I couldn't help myself. She gets little duck mittens, and I'm going to make matching ones for Layla because I think the two of them would be absolutely adorable together with their duck mittens just going quack, quack, quack. So I did one last night and I just did one this morning whilst I was sorting out some stuff on my computer before I started podcasting. So these are super quick. I just used a basic mitten pattern and adjusted it by, I just did the base colour all the way up to the split for the thumb hole, for the thumb I mean, and then I did the top half and then the rest of the thumb in the opposite colour, and then just stitched on some black yarn for the eyes. And yeah, so these are for Nova, little toddler size mittens, so cute. And I've just got to do a matching pair for Layla now. So that's it for things that I've finished. The next one is something that is kind of finished, but still like the first step is finished. And this is a crochet blanket. So the fact that it's in a project bag tells you that the pieces are done. It just now needs to be seamed together. So this is the granny square blanket. So I've used the same 5 colours of yarn, just in various different orders. So this is with the pink in the middle, then I've got it with the purple in the middle, blue in the middle. Try and get them all out without knocking everything over. Green in the middle, and then lastly with the yellow in the middle. I'm not going to pull them all out because everything's just going to collapse in there. I have 24 of each colour combination. So what's 24 times 5? 120. So I have 120 squares done up so far, and I have the corresponding yarn in white, so that's going to be for the border. This blanket will be for Nova. She's seen me working on it and she keeps asking if it's for her, so this one's for her. And so yeah, don't think this is going to be done for Christmas. I'm not planning on this being a Christmas gift. We are hoping that sometime next year, probably around Easter time when Layla has a break from school, we're going to try to, around then, we're probably going to move the girls in together into one bedroom. Not because we don't have the space. Nova currently has her own room, because I think they would really enjoy it. They love sharing a room when we go away on holiday or we stay at my parents' house. They share a room and they absolutely love it. They really enjoy it, sharing a room. And even in the evenings when it's bedtime and getting the girls ready for bed, Nova keeps saying that she wants to go sleep in Layla's room, and I know Layla's been asking to have Nova share her room for the longest time. So we've only just now transitioned Nova into a bed rather than the cot, and she's doing really well. It was a rough first night, but the last couple of nights have been really good, and she seems to be taking that transition well. So I think, like I said, in a few months we will probably, once she's potty trained and all of that, then we will look at moving her into Layla's room and they can share a room together, which I think they would both really enjoy. So my hope is to have 2 new blankets done for the girls for their bedroom when they move in together. So that will be one for Nova, and then I have the, if you've watched my finishing series, Finishing Fridays series, I showed in one of the videos I was working on this crochet hexagon rainbow blanket, and that one I think is going to be for Layla when it's finished. So yeah, that's my plan, is to have those 2 blankets finished for the girls for when they move in together, as it were. And because both of those are 100% cotton, and so I think around that time of the year as well, having a cotton blanket for their bed would be quite nice. Right, so that's those projects. Moving on to socks. So in this bag, which the artwork on the fabric is by me, but the bag was created by Darn Yarn MN. This one has a pair of socks heel has gone in. It's just a basic simple rib pattern. The yarn is West Yorkshire Spinners in, I'll grab the tag, and if this got them, it's their signature 4-ply in the Wildflower colourway. So it's your standard 75-25 wool nylon blend. So I've got my German short row heel in garter in there, the rib on the leg. I knit all my socks, unless I tell you otherwise, on 2.25mm needles. That's a US 0. I think that's right. No, 1, US size 1. Next up in this bag by Whimsy Stitches. I love this bag. This bag has seen me through so many years of sock knitting at this point. I use it constantly. It has holes in it where the plastic has torn over the years, where needles have poked through. Like I said, this bag, I've had this bag, Rick gave me this bag. Layla was a baby and she's almost 8 now, so I've had this bag a long time. And it's always the bag I grab when we're going to go anywhere, because I love being able to see the project inside as well. And this has a pair of socks in it. This is my London Bee Ridge sock pattern, also with the garter German short row heel. And this is Zauberball, if you couldn't guess from looking at it, if you've never seen it before. I picked up this yarn in Amsterdam earlier this year when Perry and I went, and it's a crazy Zauberball. That's the details. I can't tell which one is actually meant to be the colour number, but for anyone who's interested, those are the details on the back of the tag. And again, these will probably be socks for my dad at some point. Not sure when I'm going to give them to him, but like I said, I've already got socks for everyone for Christmas, so I guess the next thing up will be Father's Day for him. So bank it for later. And then I have a pair of DK socks in here. This is yarn that I picked up from Lidl earlier this year. And so, again, another basic rib pattern. And this is the Verena DK sock yarn from Lidl. And yeah, just working away on these as well. And this one I do have on thicker needles. These are on, if I can find the, these are on 2.75, so US size 2s, because they are thicker yarn. Probably could have even done these on 3mm needles, because it is quite a thick yarn. So those are the 3 pairs of socks I have going at the moment. Then I have 2 more designs on the needles. So I have one here with the heels done. This is yarn from Mrs. Lamb's Yarns, and it's in her 2024 Lunar New Year colourway on her yak sock base, which is a blend of 70% superwash merino, 20% yak and 10% nylon. It's really lovely, and the yak gives it, has like a, the yak yarn has like a grey base, so it gives everything that sort of muted colour. So this pattern, oh well, you can see that. It's going to come out in the new year in January, just before the Lunar New Year, in time for when she releases her next year's lunar sock, self-striping sock yarn. Wow, words. So stay tuned for more of those. So that'll be coming out then. I was originally thinking of releasing them for Christmas, but then she said she was going to be releasing a new yarn for Lunar New Year in January, and I was like, that makes so much more sense considering it's a Lunar New Year yarn that I'm using, so that's what we're going to do. And then the last sock pattern I've only just really started, so there's not a lot to share with you, but it's inspired by the Sunflowers painting by Van Gogh. The yarn is by the yarn artist, and a lot of her, if not all of her colours, are inspired by famous artists and their paintings. So this one is, the yarn is called Van Gogh Sunflowers. So that's what the main colour looks like. It's a really lovely speckled yellow, and then I've got the contrast of the green. So that's what I'm currently working on with those. And in terms of project bags, these 2 are my own. I don't make project bags anymore, but I used to. And this one, I can't remember, it was a gift. I can't remember who it's from. I don't believe it's from a bag maker. I think it was just a really generous gift from a viewer of the channel. if this was a bag gifted by you and you are a bag maker, please let me know in the comments below and I can correct it on the next video, because I don't want to misrepresent something if you are a bag maker. But I love it because it's got New York on it and I do really like this bag. So yeah, and this is the back, the other side as well. Anyway, I really like this bag. It's really fun. I don't use it, I haven't used it much recently, but I kind of recently went through all my project bags and pulled out some new ones so I can rotate some through being used in my collection. So those are all the socks I currently have on the go. I had hoped to get some sweaters made for the girls before Christmas this year, but I just don't see that necessarily happening. But we'll see. Maybe I'll be able to squeeze out a couple of sweaters before Christmas. So we'll see. Anyway, the other project, my last project, is living in this giant New York themed bag. I have a lot of New York themed bags, funnily enough, probably because I live there. Anyway, so this bag houses the crochet project I shared with you at the beginning of this video, which were the little crochet circles that I made from the yarn that I picked up when we were at the Cotswolds. So I believe I said I'd finished the first ball of yarn and I'd got 30 circles out of it, and I'd ordered some extra yarn from Hobbycraft from the same yarn range. Now, I'm not a stickler for always using the same yarns. I'm more than happy to sort of mix and match yarns in projects, but because this yarn is so like fluffy and I felt like it needed to be the same yarn just to work really, otherwise it was going to look weird. So I have one ball caked up just to be easier to use, and I have started crocheting the edges, turning them square. So this is the double knitting by James C. Brett, and this is colour 50. SH50 is just the creamy white colour. So I had said I'd ordered the grey and the creamy white, and I thought I preferred the creamy white with this yarn. So that's what they look like. I've only done 5 of the squares so far. It took me a minute to figure out how to do the squaring off. Most patterns that I've seen, sorry, the train's loud, just wait for that to pass. Most patterns that I've seen that have a circle that's turned into a square do it after 3 or 4 rounds of the circle, and I did 5 rounds of the circle before turning it square. So I kind of had to do a little bit of finagling on the patterns to figure out the best way to make this work. So I've done the first 5 of the 30 circles I had ready. So this is going to be a project that just lives next to the couch by the TV. I can work on it a little bit here and there when I don't have anything else that I want to work on, something that's a little bit more mindless. I pretty much have the squaring off pattern now memorized. Oh, let me see how big it is, because I remember talking about how big the squares were going to be. So once finished, this is unblocked. The squares are about 6 1/4 inches. Yeah, about 6 1/4 inches once done. So I think 90 should be a good sized blanket at the end of the day. And yeah, so that's it for my works in progress / finished objects at the moment. I've posted a video about my yarn organisation. My yarn cabinet back there is all nice and organised. And FYI, if you don't know, I am also doing a giveaway in that video, so make sure you go and watch and post your comments. The giveaway is going to close probably at the end of this week, and I will hopefully over the weekend, if I have time, post a quick video just announcing the winners. And if I don't have time over the weekend, it'll be early next week. So keep an eye out for that, and I'll keep that video separate from any Vlogmas videos if it does end up going into December, just so if you're not interested in Vlogmas but you want to know if you won a prize, make sure you check out that video. Keep an eye out for it on the channel. And I know I haven't said it yet, but thank you for joining me today, and if you are new, please feel free to subscribe if you're interested, and leave me a comment. If you're new or returning, leave me a comment, let me know what you think of this video. Right, going back to the yarn organisation video, I just got through all of that. I just finished organising everything, putting everything away. I was like, I'm doing so good, everything fits, brilliant. And I forgot that I'd placed another Knit Picks order. And then literally not even the day after I finished filming that yarn organization video, this box turned up and I was like, oh no. And it's full of yarn. It was all like on super sale. So it didn't cost, I mean it did cost money obviously, but it wasn't exorbitant. I ended up qualifying for a free set of needles, like trial needles, interchangeable needles in a 4 in the Sunstruck and 4.5mm in the reflection set, so a 6 and 7, which are some of my most used sizes, so never terrible. And I've also got a 60cm cable or 24-inch cable and a 100cm cable or 40-inch cable in there as well, so that's pretty handy. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna make, one's a wooden, one's a metal needle, and I've never tried the metal needles from Knit Picks, so it'll be interesting to try that out. I've only ever tried their wooden needles. I ended up getting some of their, what they call their Whoopsland yarn. Let me just get it all out so I can show you the colours. And it's basically a yarn that they created that didn't turn out quite how they expected. I think they found that it was just a little bit extra pilly than they would have liked. So it was on, like, I can't even remember what the price was on this. It was super affordable per skein. And I picked up enough for a sweater quantity for myself, I believe. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I got 10 skeins. It's a, bloody hell, I'm getting myself confused. It's a heavy worsted / Aran weight yarn. And so I got 3 skeins in this grey, which is their, oh, and it's a blend of 80% merino wool, 20% baby alpaca. And this, I've got 3 skeins in the aspen heather. I then got 1 each in hollyberry, box turtle heather, oh, chicken of the woods, which I believe is a mushroom. I always thought that was funny. Plunge pool heather, this lovely deep blue, Japanese maple heather, this lovely purple, and finally black trumpet heather, lovely deep foresty green colour. So I just really liked this sort of muted rainbow-esque vibe with 4 skeins of the grey for some kind of sweater for myself. And I know it said it was extra pilly, it was like more pilly than they liked, but I don't really care. Pilling on sweaters, especially for myself, really doesn't bother me that much, and it's just so soft, and I just felt like it'd be so smushy and soft, and that's kind of just what you want in a cozy sweater. So this will be something I cast on for myself at some point one day. And the rest of what's in that box, let me get the rest out, just move that over there. If you saw my last Knit Picks haul video, I posted a quick one, just a quick haul video on my channel on its own. I got some of this Knit Picks Snuggle Puff. It's another Aran heavy worsted weight yarn to make sweaters for the girls, and it's 50g balls, 142 yards. I got 5 colours, and then I sat down and I swatched, and I suddenly got cold feet, and I thought I wasn't going to have enough to do both sweaters. So I went back on when I went to place this order. I actually went just to order extra this, and then I bought more stuff. And they'd run out of 2 of the colours, so they only had these 3 colours left. So I got extra of these because I really didn't want to run out of yarn for the sweaters when I knit them. So I've got extras of these if I need it, and if not, then I can use these to make matching accessories for the girls, or for other children, or for whatever's. I can make stuffies, I don't know, whatever. It's really fun, soft yarn. I will find a use for it. It is so soft. I will find a use for it if I don't need it for the sweaters, so I don't really mind. And the colours I got were Chick, the pink is called Puffling, and the lime green is called Pollywog. So that's those ones. Then the other yarn that I got, and I'm going to get one of each out just because otherwise too much yarn. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I got 4 of each of these. Yeah, I got these 3 colours of yarn from the Wool of the Andes Superwash Worsted Weight range from Knit Picks. And these 3 colours in particular were on sale for, I think it was like less than £2 a ball, which was bonkers. They're 50-gram balls, 110 yards. I got Haze Heather, Fairy Tale and Indigo Heather. So basically shades of purple and like fuchsia. So, and I've got 4 of each. So I should have enough to knit sweaters, matching sweaters for both of the girls. And if you saw my last video, which was the embroidering on knitwear thing, I love doing matching things for my girls as long as they're okay with wearing matching things. And for now, they love it. So I love it. And that's what we're doing. We're doing matching jumpers for the girls, like forever apparently. So I should have enough to do sweaters for both of the girls out of these colours. And then randomly, and I did go back and check my order, I didn't put this in my cart, but it showed up in my box, and it's a ball of straw tweed randomly in the Atlantis Heather. So I now have a ball of straw tweed that I didn't order. I thought maybe it was some sort of freebie that I qualified for, but I went back and checked on the order and the needles showed up as like the free thing I qualified for. This wasn't on the packing slip, so I guess it must have just snuck into my box by accident. I will get in touch with Knit Picks about it, but I don't know if they want me to send it back. But anyway, that showed up in the box as well. So now I have all of that yarn to fit into my very full cabinet. So yes, that is what I did. So fun times. I've been waiting to film this podcast so I can finally try and tackle putting these skeins of yarn away. But yeah, I can't believe I forgot that I'd placed that order. I mean, as soon as the order showed up, I knew exactly what it was and I remembered exactly that I'd ordered it. But at the time when I went to film the organisation video, it had completely left my mind that I had an order coming. So so yeah, that was interesting. It's the first time that's happened. I rarely forget that I've ordered yarn because I don't order yarn very often. So anyway, all that aside, I think that's everything I had that I wanted to share with you today. I do have one more video coming out later this week, which is going to be a review video for I'll give you a sneak peek, mini amigurumi animals. And I've done them in various sizes, even though they only come in one size in the book. And so you gotta check out the video to see what I think about it. And I actually really enjoyed it. I'm a little spoiler alert, I enjoyed it. As someone who does not enjoy knitting stuffies, crocheting stuffies is another thing. And I wouldn't want to crochet stuffies like as a business. Like I know some people do this and they're really good at it. I personally don't enjoy knitting and crocheting stuffies because you have to do it at such a tight gauge so the stuffing doesn't show through, and that hurts my wrists and I don't enjoy that. So although crocheting at a tight gauge is not as hard on my wrists as knitting at a tight gauge, so I definitely enjoyed this more than I would have done with knitting. But after having done 3, I was basically done. And anyway, I'll share more about my thoughts and what I enjoyed about it, what I didn't enjoy about it, and all of that in that video. So stay tuned for that, coming probably in the next couple of days. And I will see you guys in the next one. I'll see you in Vlogmas. I'll see you in this video and then Vlogmas. So, so yay for that. Anyway, I'll leave it there. This video is going to be long enough as it is. So take care and I'll see you guys soon.